What do you believe? I mean, are we going to really believe there's alien spacecraft, that our government has those parts and they've had them for decades? I mean, that's what people suspected, but anybody saying that, you are nuts, okay? So, now all of a sudden we're supposed to believe it? I don't know. But to answer the issue on the Bidens, I think it's obvious. Because I was a target of FBI interference in our investigation, quite honestly, in the Wisconsin U.S. Senate election. Let me just describe it, okay? So, and this is only part of the story here, okay? But let's say this thing starts in December 2019 when the FBI took possession of the Hunter Biden laptop. So they had it. On the way out the door, they look at Mr. McIsaac and say, it's our experience that people that don't talk about these things don't get in trouble, don't get hurt. So that was the start of their pre-sabotage in case the knowledge of that computer ever surfaced. Okay. Later on, we've got whistleblowers saying that higher-ups of the FBI said, you're not going to look at that Hunter Biden laptop. Now we know in August, another whistleblower said that the FBI developed a scheme to downplay derogatory information on Hunter Biden. That same month, the FBI brought in 5 people to give both Senator Grassley and I separately an unsolicited briefing saying that we were targets of a Russian disinformation campaign. Now, I knew it was a setup at the time. There was no, I said, okay, do you have new intelligence? Why are you saying this? Because we've been being accused of disseminating Russian disinformation for months now. So what new news do you have here? Well, we can't tell you. I asked him, who told you to brief us about this? Interagency. Well, there are people there. Who? They wouldn't tell us. I've written 3 public letters to Christopher Wray. I've asked him in hearings. Who set up the briefing? They won't tell us.
Who is Christopher?
He's the director of the FBI. Okay.
I should probably know
that's
that.
Okay. Just been subpoenaed, probably be held in contempt because he's not complying with the subpoena
This
of the House.
is the piece that Marjorie Taylor Greene is working on, trying to.
Well, it's actually James Comer.
James Comer and Grass together, right?
I subpoenaed Christopher Wray. He didn't give a squat. But here's the point. So they're pre-sabotaging the disclosure of the Hunter Biden laptop, okay, including to 2 U.S. senators who are investigating Hunter Biden, trying to get us to believe that's all Russian disinformation. Later on, in May of 2021, they leaked the fact that they gave a secure briefing to smear me. Like I'm ignoring the fact that Putin's trying to use me as a tool. Okay, it was all false.
Have you ever met Vladimir Putin, Senator Johnson?
I have not.
Has he ever tried to slip you a few 20s or anything like that?
He has not, and I'm no Vladimir Putin fan. He's a monster. He's a war criminal. Okay, he's committing atrocities. But again, what I'm pointing out is here you had the FBI. They knew the computer. By the way, once Senator Grassley and I issued our report on the Bidens, showed this vast web of foreign financial entanglements, hundreds of millions of dollars, millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars of financial transactions. Okay, very suspicious. Okay, the Burisma things from Russia. Hunter Biden soliciting, sex trafficked women. Okay, the day after that, Mr. McIsaac offered us that computer. Now, again, we were being accused of disseminating Russian disinformation. That sounded like a pretty odd story. We didn't take it, could have been stolen property. So who do we go to? We went to the FBI. What do you know about this? Now, they should have told us what they knew about it. They didn't. They gave us a runaround for weeks until McIsaac finally turned that over to Giuliani's attorney. The New York Post got it. And then Anthony Blinken, who's our current Secretary of State, he went to Mike Mullen, who was the former deputy director of the CIA, and said, hey, can you help us out here? Can you get your buddies to write a letter saying that this is Russian disinformation? And of course, 51 intelligence officials, former intelligence officials, wrote a letter claiming the Hunter laptop had all the earmarks of Russian information campaign, even though the FBI knew it was real and authentic. Again, so I mean, this is, and most of the public doesn't know this because the mainstream media isn't covering this outrageous interference in our election by the FBI, by the intelligence agencies, by the Department of Justice. But they interfered in our election in 2020 to a far greater extent than anything Russia ever could have done, going back to the total phony and corrupt investigation of the Russian collusion hoax, which was just made up. It was made up by Hillary Clinton.